And we are starting with some piece of breaking news which is coming in now. The Red Fort terror attack probe has now widened. Faridabad police has detained one more suspect. Suspect has been held from a village in Haryana, and cops have detained another suspect in Delhi terror blast. So this entire ring or the web that we are talking about now is a sinister plot that is clear now, and more detentions continue to happen. This time it has been done by the Haryana police from a village called Khandavali in Haryana. Let me bring in Shreya Chatterjee, who's joining us live. Shreya, what exactly is the role of the new person who has been now arrested by the Faridabad police?
Well, this particular arrest that we right now see is in connection to the same terror module that is being investigated by largely the NIA, because NIA will be investigating it as the case has been handed over. But Faridabad police and Delhi police is also assisting the National Investigative Agency. Apart from that, Marya, what is also important today was that red eco-sport car, because that raised quite some eyebrows. It was also registered under the name of Umar Nabi, the terror accused, the one who blasted that I-20 car. He had a second car in his name. That was a miss for quite some time. It was finally traced back to Khandavali village, where right now as we talk, the CFSL and the NSG is detecting that team. A bomb squad is there. Once that car is found perfect without any kind of ammunition, it will be taken in the possession of the Faridabad police. And simultaneously today, one more development also took place. The NIA team visiting Al-Falah University.
All right, so all these now linked to Red Eco Sport, which has been traced and found, and it is believed to be linked to the suspects 2 days after the blast. And this is now aiding this entire investigation trail which is happening. So it begins with one Hyundai i20, which is actually used for that suicide bombing. And now there is another car in focus. This one is a red Ford EcoSport. Shreya, appreciate your time. The Red Fort blast is now officially being classified as a terror attack. This declaration came after Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a crucial CCS meeting, followed by a separate huddle with Home Minister Amit Shah and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. The Modi government has once again made it clear that it stands by its zero-tolerance policy on terror, vowing swift justice for the victims. An act of terror is an act of war. So what's next for the national capital, and what will be Modi government's next move? We'll ask these questions to our panelists who will be joining me shortly, but first up, the report.
Delhi is scarred, lives shattered, and make no mistake about it, the national capital is under the shadow of terror. It's a word that has been used officially by the government after the Cabinet Committee of Security met and issued a statement categorically condemning the Red Fort blast as an act of terror. After the meeting, Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav briefed the media, making the government's stand of zero tolerance to terror loud and clear.
The Cabinet reiterates India's unwavering commitment to a policy of zero tolerance towards terrorism in all its forms and manifestations.
The emphatic statement underscored the Prime Minister's focus on ensuring justice for the victims by holding another meeting with the Home Minister and the NSA right after the CCS meeting. Earlier, the Prime Minister, after returning from Bhutan, had gone straight to the LNJP hospital to meet the injured victims.
इसके पीछे के षड्यंत्रकारियों को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा. All those responsible will be brought to justice.
He walked through wards, personally spoke to the victims and their families, and gave them his reassurances. Doctors and officials updated him on the condition of those injured. Soon after the meeting, the Prime Minister vowed justice. As Delhi mourns and investigators tighten the net around the suspected white-collar terror module, The message from the Prime Minister is clear. Justice will be swift and terror will find no refuge. Bureau Report, India Today.
And Aishwarya Paliwal was tracking the CCS for us and she joins us live. Aishwarya, the cabinet has adopted a resolution and it has said that the country has witnessed a heinous terror incident perpetrated by anti-national forces through a car explosion near the Red Fort on evening of 10th of November 2025. This is for the first time the government has said this is an act of terror. Of course, the indication was when the National Investigation Agency took charge of the entire investigation. When the Prime Minister and the Home Minister and National Security Advisor met after the CCS got over, what are you picking up? What exactly is going to be the response of the government?
Well, Marya, this is very, very important because now we are seeing a formal statement coming in from the government where they are saying that this isn't an act of terror. Now, whether they are pointing fingers at Pakistan or they are pointing fingers at other players, now that is something which we need to wait and watch. The next 24 to 48 hours, Marya, let me tell you, are extremely crucial. The government's response will be very swift. And that's the reason, even though Prime Minister Modi was in Bhutan, we did see how he was constantly being updated about the investigations back home by Home Minister Amit Shah. Constant reports were being given to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and all those reports and what has come to the fore so far, all those things were put in front of the CCS. Today, the members were told exactly what is happening. In fact, the meeting, let me tell you, the most crucial meeting of the day was the meeting that Prime Minister Modi had with Home Minister Amit Shah and with the NSA Ajit Doval. They almost sat for close to 30 minutes. The next course of action is now being looked at. What India needs to do to protect itself and a befitting response that needs to be given for what has happened right in the national capital is something that the government at the moment is working on.
Aishwarya, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us. Vikram Singh, former DGP, joins us now. Dr. Tara Kartha is a terrorism and security expert. We have Major General Sanjay Meston joining us, who is a defense analyst. Arvind Kumar Jain is former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. PK Jain, former ADGP, is joining us as well. I'm going to begin with you, Vikram Singh. You've seen the response of the government. You've heard from various agencies. We are looking at 48 hours after the blast. What are your thoughts, sir?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The defense doctrine seems to be more reinforced than ever with a tough, no-nonsense and a clear message. And the posturing that is so necessary in international terms, make no mistake about it, Marya, it's very seldom that the Prime Minister speaks in Hindi and then translates his words into English, not for the Indian audience, which is in Hindi, but for the world audience in English. Therefore, there is a clarity that it is a terror act, number one. There are sumptuous takeaways in this brief address that it is a terror attack. Number two, there will be consequences and the perpetrators will be pursued to the last and pursued very, very vigorously. Therefore, the defense doctrine is very clear. And of course, it is on the similar lines that after Operation Sindoor, there was a declaration that any act of terror will be treated as an act of war, and it will be repulsed in equal measure. Therefore, I feel it is a matter of tremendous satisfaction for all of us Indians in India and elsewhere that a defense doctrine giving a befitting reply indicates that a resolute nation is standing behind to give a befitting reply to the terrorists, wherever they may be, whether Jaish-e-Mohammed or wherever in the world they are, they should not feel safe and secure.
Okay. So in terms of the investigation so far, Mr. Jain, how are you viewing the direction of the investigation?
You're asking me?
Yes, sir, please go ahead.
Yeah, investigation has been recently taken over by NIA. Once investigation is taken over by NIA, it's absolutely clear that government thinks that it's an act of terror. And Cabinet Committee on Security, CCS, has also briefed the media that it's being treated as an act of terror. Prime Minister has taken it very seriously. Home Minister has taken it very seriously. I have never seen such quick response from senior-most officials of various intelligence agencies. They were all on the ground. Home Minister was also there. So action is being taken. Raids are being conducted throughout the country. In UPIC, raids are being carried out by ATS at number of places, and there have been several detentions also. J&K, massive raids are going on at, I'm told, at 300 places, and people are being detained. So befitting reply is being given to the incident, and I think within 4-5 days, picture will be clear, and all the players involved in this, they will be behind bars. It's very unfortunate that well-read people, MDs and MBBS, they are involved in this type of ghastly incident. Luckily, because of initiative taken by J&K police, Srinagar civil police, the entire gang was busted. Raids were carried out at Faridabad. Otherwise, I think there would have been several blasts at several places in the country, either on 26/11 or on 6th December or 26th January. Preparations were going on for massive attacks at several places. So thanks to J&K police, Haryana police, action has been taken, but unfortunately, there was one blast near at fort. It will have to be verified whether it was accidental or he acted as a fidain. But I think things will be clear in a day or two.
Okay, Dr. Tara Karta, former Director of National Security Council Secretariat. Ma'am, if you look at what's becoming evidently clear is that there was a larger conspiracy, and of course, this blast which happened near Red Fort was more like a panic attack. It was triggered by all the arrests and the detentions which had happened earlier that day by various agencies, as we have been talking about the white-collar terror module right now. But when you look at what has been going on behind the scenes, the series of state coordination, the series of multi-agency coordination, what are you sensing is the larger sinister plot as it unravels?
See, one thing which struck me, and I mean, this was as of day before, was that this has been going on for some time, this plotting. I mean, it is apparently at least more than 2 years old. So if we are looking at it in that case, it is not really much to do with Sindoor, its aftermath. It's not really linked to that. Number two is it's a radicalized outfit. Radicalization is a cell which is the most difficult to unravel. You can unravel a tight terrorist plot, but radicalism is very, very difficult to find out where these veins of poison go through. That is number two. But number three, in terms of action, I think this action by the agencies was brilliant. This kind of coordination, to be honest, we've rarely seen from one police to the others across state boundaries. They have actually managed to nab these people. But now comes the difficult part, is to see how did they get this ammonium nitrate together? Number two, is there more of it? And the way it looks like there is more, which has been stashed away somewhere. Are there other people involved? Which is also likely. I'm happy to see that there is a bunch of, well, in going on even in my own home state, there is I think various initiatives being taken. It could really emerge pretty much anywhere. So this was clearly a very long, well thought out, indoctrinated and put in place for a really large attack. So we must be extremely grateful to the agencies for finding this out and nipping this in the bud. So far, it seems it's all within the country. Nothing has been seen from outside, but it's early days.
Okay. Major General Sanjay Meston, your thoughts on this? The authorities have traced and found a very important link, which is the Red Ford Eco Sport, because the fear was that are there similar such cars, one I-20, another one an Eco Sport, which is moving around, as the entire plot is being linked now to their larger plan, which was to cause a huge impact on 6th of December.
Yeah, Marya, very true. Firstly, let's be clear. I think their plans were very, very clear to carry out a major strike in Delhi NCR and in most parts of the country, and this was their intended aim. And the fact that they had procured 2,000 900 kgs of ammonium nitrate over a period of time. And I do agree, I think it was over a period of 2 years, and they were bringing in small consignments. So there are a large number of issues which are of concern. Firstly, from where have they been able to procure such amount of ammonium nitrate? Obviously, today it is commercially available, it is used in construction activities, it is used in mining. So somewhere we have faltered. I think the security drills have to be very, very taped up. Number two, Al-Falah University. Arms are being found, the explosives are being found, people are being entering, and I think in one of the lockers, AK-47 were being found. What does it indicate? The security personnel who are deployed in the university campus, were they sleeping? So this is another thing. So I think there are far number of leads, and I personally feel this person, Dr. Umar, he was very, very instrumental. And I think my assessment is that probably this guy knew so much, as it is the number of people who are caught right from October, mid-October onwards. I think they have given a lot of information, and that is how Umar was also being traced. So therefore, it proves that there are many more handlers in this. There are many more perpetrators, and they're loitering around. And the fact each minute, a lot of things are being unraveled. So I think the first priority of the government of India, and obviously the NIA, would be to go into minutest details, find out even those two guys who were at the gas station, who sat down in the vehicle for some time and then they came out. I think the role of those two people have to be found out. And perhaps there is a possibility that Umar, when he was in that area, I think he was not contemplating a suicide kind of attack, because, when I was in Afghanistan, I've seen once a person decides on a suicide attack, thereafter the way his brain was, then he just goes for the mission. In this case, he was almost there for 3.5 hours in the masjid parking area. So he was contemplating something, and what he could have been contemplating, definitely not a suicide. He would have been contemplating now that he is going to be cornered, and the fact that J&K police had stated that you will be caught and you surrender. So he would have come to know that he will be chased and caught. So I think his handlers would have ensured that he dies, because in case he would have been captured live, perhaps he would have revealed so many other things. So his existence was an existential threat to the entire network, and therefore they have eliminated this threat. So anyway, the fact of the matter is, perhaps he could have been detonated by remote control, and I've seen enough of these in Afghanistan. And even there are a large number of issues that, there were no craters. My feeling is probably the explosive may have been kept in the rear seat for all itself.
Okay.
Those two people who had boarded the vehicle and then deboarded somewhere, perhaps they may have kept it somewhere, knowing that this person perhaps may even surrender or will be caught, and he will give out a lot of leads.
Okay.
So the issue is the government of India, as on date, and the way even now the raids have happened in Assam, a lot of people are being caught. So I think in every state, the way we have a interstate coordination under the central government, and hats off, of course, to the J&K police, they are the start point. So things will be unraveled. First and foremost, we have to get the lead out and the role of Jaish, and including of Turkey.
Yes.
Because what was their role? How these people are gone and met.
Mapping of various roles and affiliations, which is all tied to Al-Falah and allied networks, becomes important. Continue to be with us. Let me break a piece of an important information which came earlier today, which is with regards to Dr. Umar Nabi's big Barbri anniversary plan. What was this? Sources have told India Today that Dr. Umar Nabi, also now known as Dr. Death, was plotting a major bomb attack in Delhi. When was this attack planned? December 6th, the anniversary of the Babri Masjid demolition. The attack was dubbed a revenge date and aimed at maximizing impact, targeting high footfall areas across central Delhi. So they were planning multiple bombings on that particular day. Investigators, in fact, believe that the plan was finalized after Umar's visit to Turkey, where he reportedly received orders from Jaish-e-Mohammed handlers. This becomes important because many would say, Vikram Singh, that India has moved ahead from what happened in 1992, particularly because there is a Ram temple in Ayodhya. So why is it that these relatively young doctors are talking about an event where India has moved ahead. There is a consecration ceremony of Ram Temple which has happened, and the entire country rejoiced.
Marya, you seem to be living only with the very decent people, those who have a right frame of mind. Arvind and I move around with people, with all kinds of people, the devious, the not so devious, the good, bad, and the ugly. There are those amongst us who say that when the time comes, we will demolish the Ram temple and rebuild the mosque there. And it's not just one person, and you may have encountered these people during the course of your show. I will not take names. But therefore, it takes all sorts to make this world. Therefore, one has to be prepared for a worst case scenario. And the youngsters, yes, you are very right. The youngsters would not even know what happened in 1992, 67, 1992. But they obviously have been radicalized and indoctrinated. And when you say, you use the word Al-Falah, Al-Falah University seems to be the epicenter of radicalization, and I really don't know how they allowed the grass to grow underneath their feet. The youngsters, again, the VC has the audacity to say that we have nothing to do with that. Well, how do you explain the swift desire with an automatic AK-47, 84 rounds with Beretta pistols in mint condition, as also almost all the doctors seem to have some link with Al-Falah University? To the contrary, there's Dr. Nisarul Hasan, dismissed from service in November 1993 by the governor's orders under the constitutional provision of 311 for anti-national activity. He was hired by Al-Falah University in the medical college. What were their compulsions? Therefore, there are so many things that we need to watch, these young doctors, these professionals, and the three dimensions that have emerged now, that what worked yesterday will not work today, Marya. In these dimensions, you have white-collar terror modules, vehicle-borne IEDs, and then you have Jamaat-ul-Mu'minah, the women's wing of the Jaish-e-Mohammed. Therefore, these dimensions, you're very right.
But Vikram Singh, white-collar terror act of terrorism is not new. It has happened in the past as well. That those who are on the foreground are professionals, they are accomplished people.
Very much. Osama bin Laden himself was a technocrat.
Yes.
We have seen IIT pass-outs attacking the Gorakhnath temple. And we have also seen IIT pass-outs and those with foreign diplomas and degrees also indulging it. But they are more by way of exception, not as by the rule. By and large, 90% are those who are the madrasa type pass-outs and the jihadi mindset. But in this case, I think it was a bit of reverse engineering, that they were under the malignant influence of two Maulanas, Maulana Irfan and Maulana Ishtiyaq. These two Maulanas, one of Shopian and the other of Faridabad. I think this malignancy was injected into these doctors and medical practitioners, which should never have happened. I thought they would have better sense of do's and don'ts, rather than be impacted by the negative influence of the jihadi Maulanas.
Dr. Tarak, your thoughts of the larger plan, which is now being unraveled, all this being linked to a particular date, a date many would say that India has moved on from, but these are radicalized youth who are still frozen in time. They're talking about 6th of December, bringing back those memories again. They were hoping to. And of course, it has been now foiled.
Marya, actually, that was a good question. Even I wondered until I checked. And this Jaish has been repeatedly raising this issue. They've been raising it over the years. And if I remember right, somewhere mid last year,
yes,
then Masood Azhar had also raised this issue and he said, when is Babri Masjid going to be liberated? So they've been using this as a sort of a rally cry, which most of us ignored because, like you said, for us, it was an old issue. We never bothered about it. That is a lesson which we need to learn and which a lot of terrorism specialists, even the US, will tell you now, after learning lessons, that dates are important. When you have certain dates which are important to the terrorist, you better look at those dates. So I think this is something we need to sort of shake our lethargy and look at what else is going to come up on the radar. But I do also want to add something here is that, see, Turkey has been used by, the Pakistanis and a lot of people for other countries also as a meeting point, even on plots in Afghanistan and elsewhere. It may not mean that Turkey itself is involved, but there is, these people are adept at using various countries and then trying to spoil your relations with them.
So that is a caution we need to keep in mind. And the last thing is these, I mean, the fact that they're doctors, I mean, that is what, at least for me, hit me the most. These are supposed to be healers. And in this, the terrorists who died in JNK, etc., these Pakistanis normally give their children a hospital, a seat in hospitals. I'm wondering if there is some kind of a link here, because why doctors? It doesn't make sense. I think we need to look at that a little more.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about that date where they were planning the larger conspiracy. They were planning to, attack multiple places in the NCR on 6th of December. Major General Sanjay Meston, your views on that?
See, 6th December, I recollect when I was in Afghanistan, and I think you have asked a very pertinent question, and even Dr. Kartha also mentioned about it. See, in Afghanistan, radicalization used to be done by constantly showing them the demolition of Babri Masjid. And this is, I came to know from the Taliban and all these people who are trained there, because this is the first thing, how the indoctrination is done. So these people are shown these videos constantly, and anything which is anti-Islam, which they consider actually anti-Islam, maybe in India, there is no end to that. They can present anything in such a way. So these kind of videos are showing constantly, and that hits their psyche because they are seeing it. Though a point came out by Mr. Vikram that they would have been youngsters that time, but yet, trying to show that this was demolished by by Indians, and that was such a great masjid, and this is what they have been doing, radicalization. So yes, I exactly agree with Dr. Kartha that dates today become very, very significant, and therefore 6th December, obviously the Babri Masjid demolition, that indoctrination, so that revenge factor comes in. Ki is din ko, we will take the revenge and hit them. And also, I think, if I'm not wrong, President Putin has also planned his visit somewhere in December. So maybe then it sends a very strong message. So there are certain linkages. And obviously, the larger terror plot was to be executed later. And that is how this 2,900 kgs of ammonium nitrate, and I'm quite sure there are more of it to be found and located, the way this eco car has also been found. So the fact of the matter is radicalization is happening, indoctrination is happening, and let's not be surprised, even a lot of women cadres may have been already radicalized. That is how this lady was nominated.
Yes, and radicalization, as you said, you and Dr. Tara Karta both pointed out, is being done by showing those images of demolition of the Babri Mosque. So, Arvind Jain, this is going to be a huge challenge, because if there are educated youth, getting such sharp ideas, which is actually anti-country, anti-India, then it has to be addressed.
Yes, you are absolutely correct, and it is very much a reality that youth amongst a particular community, they are being radicalized. At madrasa level, they are being radicalized. At masjid level, they are being radicalized. I have been SSP Faridabad before the demolition took place. I was there. There were hardly a few families in Ayodhya, Muslim families staying there, and nobody used to go and offer namaz there. So there are hardly a few families. Some people used to come from Faizabad to offer namaz, and for years and years, prayers were going on by Hindus. It had almost been written off for Muslims. I don't know why there is so much of issue because of Ayodhya demolition. Because it is laid down in Islamic this thing that once prayers have been offered by Hindus, they can't offer namaz at that place. So it makes no sense. But still, just to keep that issue alive, they keep on harping on it that hamari masjid shaheed kar di. There was no mosque because prayers were going on for so many years at that place. Anyway, but this is a big challenge for security agencies, for police forces. And if this is a Fedayeen attack, as it is being projected at Red Fort, then it is all the more serious, because Fedayeen attack has not taken place in the country for so many years. And I think Bent Singh assassination was the last one. So it will be the task will become all the more difficult for security agencies.
Sir, there is a piece of breaking news coming in, and I'll come back to all the guests who are joining us after breaking this news. Sources are telling India today that in raids that were conducted, nearly 100 people were rounded up for questioning from different parts of Kashmir. Names are, of course, not being shared, and rightly so, till the time their roles are known. Those not found to be involved will be allowed to go back, is the message coming in from security agencies. There's a big crackdown which has happened in Jammu and Kashmir. In another time, Umar and Muzammil went to Turkey in 2022 and met their handlers there. It is around this time that they had also joined Telegram. So it's becoming clear increasingly about the entire timeline. Umar and Muzammil went to Turkey in 2022. It's 3 years later that Dr. Umar actually becomes a Fedayeen and Muzammil is thereafter arrested. It is in Turkey that they met their handlers, Jaish-e-Mohammed, and hence the entire timeline becomes clear. So raids being conducted in different parts of India, several questioning happening by various police agencies from Jammu and Kashmir to Haryana police to Delhi police. When we look at the nature of investigation, Vikram Singh, it's becoming increasingly clear that Dr. Umar, who was the suicide bomber, actually got the first round of instructions in 2022.
Precisely, it dates back to 2022 when Dr. Umar went to Turkey for the first time, and then he met his handlers. And the rest is history. He was programmed, he was funded and financed, because a lot of questions are emerging. Who was responsible for funding so much and giving precise instructions for the storage of ammonium nitrate? This level of ammonium nitrate cannot be taken in a bag, in the pocket, or in a car boot. Obviously, meticulous plans were made to transport 3,000 kilograms of ammonium nitrate, contravening all the basic laws of ammonium nitrate storage rules 2012 in the backdrop of Indian Explosives Act 1884. And therefore, I would say that they had studied the rules, they studied the regulations, and then found escape routes, and also were able to penetrate the system so that the storage was possible. And also, Muhammad Umar was also programmed to prepare 200 IED explosives, and the 200 would mean that what we saw just was a small trailer, not even the full trailer, a small preview of what could have been possibly been a catastrophe or an unmitigated disaster if even a fraction of those 200 IEDs were blasted. Therefore, I would say it needs to be worked out. It is a matter of satisfaction that the investigation is going in full swing. People are being picked up for thorough interrogation, and one good arrest and good interrogation would lead to a gold mine of information, would again lead to follow-up, use of technology like polygraph tests, narco analysis, brain mapping, and I'm sure the analysis of the phone calls and the crypto apps, as also the Telegram chats, would yield a gold mine of information and actionable intelligence too.
Okay, continue to be with us, because the spotlight is also on this EcoSport car. From an i20, the spotlight, remember, has now shifted to a red Ford EcoSport, which has been seized from Haryana and could now be the missing link in a deadly conspiracy. It is believed to have been owned by the alleged bomber, Dr. Umar Nabi. This EcoSport is raising chilling questions. Was it a getaway car, a second bomb vehicle, or part of a larger terror plan? Take a look at this report, and then I'll get the guests again.
One deadly blast, one chariot of death, or was it two? So far, investigators had focused on an I-20 car at the center of the probe. But now, a red Ford EcoSport seized by the Haryana police has emerged as a key piece in the Delhi blast investigation. The EcoSport, reportedly owned by Delhi blast bomber Dr. Umar Nabi, was found parked near the Khandavila village in Haryana, just hours after the police launched a massive hunt for the vehicle. Following its seizure, the car was cordoned off, and a team of experts is now examining it for possible weapons or explosives.
फरीदाबाद पुलिस इस कार तक पहुंचने में कामयाब हुई और अभी जो है इस कार की जांच की जानी है। इसी के चलते बम डिफ्यूज़ल स्क्वाड को बुलाया गया है, क्योंकि पुलिस के नज़र में अभी भी ये कार संदिग्ध है। अब सबसे बड़ी सवाल जो है वो ये है कि क्या इस कार को जहां पार्क किया गया था वो पार्क करने वाले का कोई जानकार था या यहाँ कोई और कोई कनेक्शन है। ये तमाम कनेक्शन जो है वो पुलिस खंगालने की कोशिश कर रही है।
The red EcoSport carries the registration number DL10CK0458 and was registered in Umar's name at the Rajouri Garden RTO on November 22nd, 2017. Umar was the second owner of the car. Investigators say he used a fake address in northeast Delhi to purchase the vehicle, prompting police to raid that location.
यहाँ बताया जा रहा है कि देर रात दिल्ली पुलिस के साथ साथ जांच एजेंसियां यहाँ पर पहुंची जो बम ब्लास्ट की जांच कर रही हैं। वहीं अगर हम बात करें दूसरे मकान की, तो दूसरा मकान इसके साथ T486 बताया जा रहा है, जिसमें फिलहाल फ्लैट बनकर तैयार हो गए हैं। जबकि इसमें बता दें आपको, यहाँ पर करीब 4 से 5 फैमिलियां फिलहाल इस मकान में रह रही हैं। यानी कि कुल मिलाकर अगर हम बात करें तो अभी तक नबी भट्ट नाम का कोई व्यक्ति हमारे सामने नहीं आया है।
Authorities believe that the EcoSport may have been used as a secondary vehicle in the operation. However, the questions remain. What was the intended plan? Was a bigger attack being plotted? And were these so-called doctors of death planning to use multiple vehicles in the attack? With Arvind Ojha, Munish Pandey and Ifrar in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
The authorities now have traced and found this red Ford EcoSport, which is believed to be linked to the suicide bomber and also could be an important piece of investigation trail. Mr. P.K. Jain joins us now. Mr. Jain, it's becoming clear that the plot, which was far more sinister than what we have seen 2 days ago, was about using multiple vehicles.
Marya, the writing is clear on the wall. 3,400 kilos of explosive material, AK-47 or AK-56 rifles, Glock pistols, and ammunition, lot of ammunition, other material, timers, detonators. The writing is absolutely clear. It was not a small plan. It was a major plan to create major security issues and cause bomb blasts across the country. Now, NCR apparently was one of the areas in target at the moment. See, this particular car, which has been now found, it seems that the same car, there was a rumor on the first day of the blast itself, that 3,400 kilos of explosive material has been collected or brought from somewhere. Rifles have been brought from somewhere. So this particular car apparently was used to ferry the material between Kashmir and Faridabad. So, and it was parked separately. It was probably not to be a part of the explosions, for the simple reason that the car was registered in the name of one of the perpetrators. One thing also which clearly comes out from your narrative just now is the car was purchased by Dr. Umar in 2017. So
Yes.
you can imagine how long back the entire conspiracy and planning was going on. Now, it is only fortunate for the country. The security forces have at least temporarily blocked all attempts on the part of these terrorists from causing damage in the country and at multiple locations.
Okay.
Now, investigation is in progress. I would only hope that the investigators and the intelligence agencies, like my senior and predecessor have just now said, the investigators are bound to reach the bottom of this case, and they will dig out everything in terms of the CDRs, call connections, whichever people they were taking instructions from. There's also a rumor in the market that about 7 of these perpetrators or part of this module are still absconding. Besides the 7
Yes.
arrested and 1 dead, there are 7 more who are absconding, and they may be carrying some small quantities of explosive with them. They may not be, but they may also be. So
All right.
they also have to be arrested. So I think we have to be on our guard, including the public. I would use your platform to, caution the public also to be on their guard. Anybody taking a house or who has taken a house in your vicinity, just keep a watch, be vigilant.
Okay.
Thank you,
P.K.
Marya.
Jain, Dr. Tara Karta, Major General Sanjay Meston continue to be with us. India's counter-terror machinery has struck a major blow to terror networks, in fact, rattling groups from Jaish-e-Mohammed to ISIS. Authorities say these modules were planning not just conventional attacks, but also chemical terror plots involving Ricin, a deadly, odorless, tasteless toxin with no antidote. Even tiny amounts can be fatal, making it one of the most dangerous substances known to man. The 3 arrests of Gujarat highlight both the evolving nature of terror threats in India and the critical role of vigilant intelligence and law enforcement. Should India then be prepared for a new age bio-warfare? Take a look at this report.
A successful Operation Sindoor and rattled terror groups. From Jaish-e-Mohammed to ISIS. All deeply troubled by the dismantling of terror modules on Indian soil. While Jaish used Dr. Death and his colleagues to allegedly plan and execute the Red Fort blast, ISIS planned a horrifying chemical terror plot. Just days ago, Gujarat anti-terror squad arrested 3 men, including a doctor with a Chinese medical degree, for allegedly trying to produce a lethal chemical compound called Ricin. Meet Ahmed Mohiuddin, the very face of this unique terror plot. This doctor from Hyderabad was exploring ways to weaponize Ricin. His alleged plan was to inject the toxin into fruits and vegetables and to poison food items sold in Hindu areas. The police say he allegedly surveyed Asia's largest wholesale fruit and vegetable market in Delhi, the Azadpur Mandi, Ahmedabad's Naroda Fruit Market, and the RSS office in Lucknow. These spots were chosen for their dense crowds and high public activity and were being considered as potential targets.
सैयद जो है वो बेसिकली लगभग 35-36 साल की उम्र का एक व्यक्ति है जिसने चाइना से MBBS किया है। ये काफ़ी पढ़ा लिखा है, काफ़ी रेडिकल मेंटलिटी है इसकी। ये भारत में मोटे प्रमाण में मतलब बड़ी लोगों को नुकसान पहुंचा पाए इस तरह की आतंकवादी घटना को अंजाम देना चाहता था।
It is essentially a protein that can be extracted from the castor bean. It has no smell and taste, and is 600 times more dangerous than cyanide. And there's no antidote for it. Needless to say, the ease of producing the poison, coupled with the very low doses needed to kill, make it a challenge for law enforcement. So is Ricin the new bioweapon on the block threatening India? Should India be worried? With Manjeet Negi, Bureau Report, India Today.
We are putting out all those stories on our website and also on the YouTube channel. That's all from me. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching.